very good evening. You're watching Prime Time News on TV1. Bringing you the news this evening, I am Steven Machado.
And I am Hashini Patirana. First up is a look at your headlines for tonight.
The headlines on Newsfirst.
Iran and the US agree deal to end war as Israel says its forces will stay on in Lebanon. CID tells court that 6 individuals including Dilith, Vimal and Gabban Pillai committed contempt over Easter probe criticism. Suresh Saleh is stable in hospital. Government rejects serious illness reports. Ranil Sajith alliance expected soon, says Ranjit Madhuma Bandara. SJBMP rejects unity talks, calls for focus on facts. West Indies clinch T20 series victory over Sri Lanka.
On to those stories in detail. Iran and the United States have reached an agreement to end more than 100 days of war, setting the stage for detailed negotiations on the Iranian nuclear program and sanctions relief.
Now, US President Donald Trump this evening said that ships are starting to move out of the Strait of Hormuz, quote-unquote, many loaded up with oil. Ismail Baghi, Iran's foreign ministry spokesperson, had said that Lebanon's national sovereignty is one of the main pillars of the Memorandum of Understanding agreed with the United States.
What is this agreement?
According to the initial draft of the proposed Memorandum of Understanding, Iran and the United States are expected to reach consensus on 14 key points. The main provisions include reopening the Strait of Hormuz, lifting the US naval blockade, easing sanctions, releasing frozen Iranian assets, and immediately halting conflicts across all fronts, including Lebanon.
Is the crisis completely over?
Following indications of the agreement, global crude oil prices saw a notable drop of around 5% today. Accordingly, Brent crude prices in the UK stood at $83.13 per barrel this afternoon. Meanwhile, US crude oil prices were recorded at $80.46 per barrel. Global stock markets also showed upward trends today, according to international media reports. However, the World Bank had earlier warned that this situation represents the largest supply disruption in 50 years. The International Energy Agency also cautioned that this is the biggest challenge in history to global energy security. Even if the Strait of Hormuz is reopened, international analysts say it will take considerable more time to remove the reported sea mines placed in the area. As such, it may take some time before normal maritime traffic through the Strait of Hormuz can fully resume.
The US position on the agreement.
US President Donald Trump stated that a full agreement has been reached with Iran. Trump also announced that the Strait of Hormuz will be opened without any charges. He further noted that the naval blockade on Iranian ports will be immediately lifted. Allowing fuel to flow freely across global markets, Trump stated that fuel transport vessels should now restart their engines while congratulating all parties involved in reaching the agreement.
What is Iran's response?
Iran's Supreme National Security Council has confirmed the peace agreement. Its secretariat stated that hostilities across all fronts, including Lebanon, will be halted immediately and permanently. Iran also emphasized that lifting the US naval blockade on its ports is a key condition of the agreement. Tehran further confirmed that the official signing of the Memorandum of Understanding is scheduled for Friday, the 19th of June. However, Iran stated that negotiations towards a final agreement will remain on hold until it is verified that all parties have fulfilled their obligations under the current understanding. The Iranian statement also expressed appreciation for the efforts made by Pakistan and Qatar in facilitating the process.
Pakistan's response.
Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif stated earlier today that the Iran-US peace agreement is now in effect. He confirmed that the deal includes an immediate ceasefire across all fronts, including Lebanon, and that the formal agreement will be signed in Switzerland on Friday, the 19th of June.
Will sanctions on Iran be lifted?
Several European countries have indicated that they are prepared to lift sanctions imposed on Iran, provided that Tehran takes clear and verifiable steps to ensure it will not pursue nuclear weapons under any circumstances. Italy, Germany, France and the United Kingdom made this announcement through a joint statement. These countries further stated that Iran is ready to cooperate with the United States and the International Atomic Energy Agency as part of this process.
Taking a look at local news, the Criminal Investigation Department informed the Colombo Fort Magistrates Court that media statements made by several individuals regarding the ongoing investigations into the Easter Sunday terror attacks have mounted to contempt of court.
Now, those named in the submission include Dilip Chaivira, Vimal Viravansa, Uday Gamanpila, Sugeshwara Bandara, Mahinda Pathirana and Asanka Navaratna. Now, the CID reported these facts to court by filing a motion before Colombo Fort Magistrate Pasan Amarasena.
The Criminal Investigation Department informed the Colombo Fort Magistrates Court that Dilip Chavira, Vimal Viravansa, Uday Gamanpila, Sugeshwara Bandara, Mahinda Pathirana and Asanka Navaratna have made statements in efforts to create public opposition to the ongoing investigation into the Easter Sunday attacks following the arrest of suspect Sirasa. Excerpt from CID statement.
These individuals, particularly during the period following the hospitalization of the third suspect, have acted in a manner that created public dissatisfaction, suspicion, disrespect and contempt toward the judicial process, while attempting to generate public opposition against the court. Through these actions, they have engaged in organized and deliberate efforts that could adversely affect the investigation.
Investigating officers further informed the Fort Magistrates Court that steps will be taken to file charges against Dilip Chavira, Vimal Viravansa, Uday Gamanpila, Sugeshwara Bandara, Mahinda Pathirana and Asanka Navaratna with the Court of Appeal under the Contempt of a Court, Tribunal or Institution Act No. 8 of 2024. Excerpt from CID statement.
Your Honor, this report contains clear details of all defamatory statements made by these individuals through various media institutions. Accordingly, statements by MP Dilip Chavira, former MPs Vimal Viravansa and Uday Gamanpila, Sugeshwara Bandara, who served as the private secretary to former President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, as well as Asanka Navaratna and Mahinda Pathirana, have been documented. These statements made through electronic media and Facebook have been deemed contemptuous towards both the investigation and the judiciary. Following investigations, we will proceed to file charges under the Contempt of a Court, Tribunal or Institution Act No. 8 of 2024 before the Court of Appeal. This case will be taken up again on the 1st of July, and we request that notices be issued to summon these individuals before court.
The CID also requested court orders to obtain unedited video footage from 8 electronic media institutions that broadcast the statements in question. In addition, investigators sought permission under Section 124 of the Code of Criminal Procedure Act No. 15 of 1979 to record statements from camera operators, journalists, presenters, directors and other media personnel involved in recording and broadcasting the relevant material. After considering the submissions, the magistrate issued the necessary orders but rejected the request to issue notices to summon Dilip Chavira, Vimal Viravansa, Uday Gamanpila, Sugeshwara Bandara, Mahinda Pathirana and Asanka Navaratna before the Fort Magistrates Court at this stage. The magistrate stated that the court had only been informed of the initiation of investigations and under the relevant legal provisions, it was not possible to summon the individuals at this point. He further directed that upon completion of investigations, charges should be filed before the Court of Appeal under the Contempt of a Court, Tribunal or Institution Act No. 8 of 2024, noting that the individuals would be required to appear before the appellate court thereafter. Meanwhile, the CID also informed court that the presence of a magistrate would be required at the Colombo National Hospital to examine suspect Sirasa. In response, the magistrate stated that if the suspect is currently admitted to the National Hospital, the examination should be carried out by the Maliga Kanda magistrate. Accordingly, the CID was instructed to notify the Maliga Kanda magistrate to carry out the examination before the 20th June. The case is scheduled to be taken up again on the 1st July at 2 p.m. Questions have been raised over the health condition of former State Intelligence Chief Sirasa, who is currently receiving treatment at the National Hospital while under detention orders in connection with the Easter Sunday terror attack investigations. Sri Lanka's Minister of Health addressed several media queries on the matter today, responding to reports circulating in the public domain regarding Saleh's condition.
සලේගේ මේ අසාධ්‍ය මේ මොනවත් හදිසියාරි මරන්න පත් වුණොත් මෙහි වගකීම ආණ්ඩුව සහ ජනාධිපතිතුමා බාර ගන්න ඕන කියන කාරණය. ඔබතුමාට ඒක උත්තරයක් දෙන්න.
No, there is absolutely no such critical condition at present. He is receiving treatment at the National Hospital in accordance with the law under detention orders. There is no such issue. All specialist doctors are examining him. He is being provided with the necessary nutrition. In fact, at the National Hospital, we are ensuring that all required nutrition and medication are given properly. There are no issues whatsoever. No serious or critical condition has been reported by doctors. I believe further steps can be taken based on the medical reports.
කටයුතු කරන්න පුළුවන්කම ලැබෙවි. මේ ඇඟිලි අතපය ඉදිමිලා කියලා පවුලේ කට්ටිය කියනවා මේ මෙතන මෙහෙම තත්ත්වයක් වෙලා තියෙනවද?
නෑ මට එහෙම කිසිවක් වාර්තා වෙලා නැහැ.
ඒක බෙහෙත් දෙන කටයුතු එහෙම සාර්ථකව
සියල්ල ලබා දෙනවා.
Everything is being provided. Even before he was admitted to the National Hospital while he was under detention, the Criminal Investigation Department responded immediately to all of his health-related complaints. Whether it was dental issues, skin conditions or nutrition, CID officers worked together with health authorities to address all of them. He is fully aware of that. After hospitalization, all necessary examinations are being carried out and the required treatment is being provided.
දෙනවා.
ඒකනේ මේ ගෙදර කට්ටිය ෆැමිලි කට්ටිය මේ බොරුද කියන්නේ මාධ්‍යට?
වැදගත් වෙන්නේ ජාතික රෝහලේ ඉන්නකොට ඒ විශේෂඥ වෛද්‍යවරුන්ගේ නිර්දේශය. ඒ අනුව අපි කටයුතු කරන්නේ.
ඔහුට්ටුවේ නාමල් රටවටා යන ප්‍රචාරණ කටයුතු මේ දවස්වල ආරම්භ කරලා තියෙනවා. මොකද කියන්න තියෙන්නේ අපි දැක්කේ රැලි ගොඩක් ගිහිල්ලා තිබුණා විපක්ෂයේ ඒකාබද්ධ සම්බන්ධ.
කමක් නැහැ. නඩු වලට එන්න නඩු තියෙන දවස් වලට ඉතුරු දවස් වලට එහෙම යන්න.
Government MP Asita Niroshan stated that the failure of former State Intelligence Chief Suresh Saleh to cooperate fully with ongoing investigations into the Easter Sunday attacks is a matter of serious concern. The MP said that if Saleh is innocent, he should provide full cooperation to investigators, including granting access to his mobile phone and laptop by handing over the passwords required for examination. He made these remarks in response to a statement issued by MP Dayasri Jayasekara a day earlier. Dayasri Jayasekara, speaking in Kandy, had claimed that sensitive intelligence-related information linked to terrorism in Sri Lanka is stored on Saleh's laptop.
Now they are asking Saleh to hand over the passwords to his computer. This is the computer of the former chief of intelligence during the latter stages of the war. The intelligence information for the assassination of Tamil Shelvam in 2009 came from this computer. It was the result of a long-range reconnaissance patrol. If you tamper with that now, you must understand that it could lead to making public sensitive intelligence connected to the entire war effort of this country. What is being attempted is not something small. It could expose critical national intelligence. This is information on intelligence, information on terrorism, and intelligence gathering over a period of time. That is what we should be concerned about.
සුරේෂ් සලේ කියලා කියන්නේ හිටපු හමුදා බුද්ධි ප්‍රධානියා හිටපු
Suresh Saleh is a former head of military intelligence. He is no longer in service. If a retired intelligence chief still possesses sensitive future intelligence, national security information, or plans of this country, that itself is a major national security issue. That is the real problem. How can a former official still hold such critical intelligence data? That means national security has been compromised. This is why the public has serious concerns about Suresh Saleh. If a retired intelligence officer holds such information, it clearly indicates the level of risk the country has been under. Even statements like those made by MP Dayasri Jayasekara confirm that such data may still exist. Saleh is a trained military officer. He understands military discipline, governance and the law of the country very well. Therefore, if he is innocent, he should immediately provide the passwords to his mobile phone and laptop. Why is he afraid? He should say, I have nothing to hide, check everything. If he continues to withhold access, why is that? Why is he still refusing? Why is he remaining under medical care and not cooperating? It appears he is attempting to gain sympathy and create a narrative that he is being pressured. But if he speaks openly, the political forces behind the Easter attacks and those who benefited from them may be exposed.
ඒ පාස්කු ප්‍රහාරයේ විසින් බලයට පත් කරවූ මිනිස්සුගේ තියෙන දේශපාලන අරමුණ එළිදරව් වෙනවා.
The Colombo Permanent High Court trial at bar today fixed the 31st of July as the date to deliver the verdict in the case filed by the Attorney General against former Defence Secretary Hemasiri Fernando. The case has been instituted under charges including criminal negligence and dereliction of duty for failing to prevent the Easter Sunday terror attacks despite receiving prior intelligence warnings of an imminent threat. The trial was taken up before a three-judge bench comprising Priyantha Liyanage, Viraj Veerasurya and Tilakaratnam Bandara of the Colombo Permanent High Court trial at bar.
Attorney-at-Law Chamindatu Korala, appearing on behalf of the accused Hemasiri Fernando, concluded his oral arguments before the three-judge bench, following which the bench announced that the judgment will be delivered on the 31st of July. The Attorney General had filed separate indictments before the Colombo High Court trial at bar against former Defence Secretary Hemasiri Fernando and former Inspector General of Police Pujith Jayasundara under charges including criminal negligence and dereliction of duty for allegedly failing to prevent the Easter Sunday terror attacks despite receiving prior intelligence warnings. The earlier trial at bar bench that heard the case had on the 18th of February 2022 acquitted the accused without calling for their defence after examining the prosecution's evidence. Challenging that ruling, the Attorney General subsequently filed an appeal before the Supreme Court, arguing that the decision was contrary to law and seeking to have it set aside. Delivering its order, the Supreme Court held that the High Court had erred by failing to call for the defence and that acquitting the accused without doing so was legally flawed. Accordingly, the cases were ordered to be retried, leading to the present proceedings. With the conclusion of the hearing in the case against former Defence Secretary Hemasiri Fernando today, the court fixed the 31st of July for the delivery of the verdict. Meanwhile, the hearing in the case against former IGP Pujith Jayasundara concluded last Friday, with the trial at bar bench ordering that the verdict in that case will also be delivered on the 31st of July.
The investigation into the brutal Easter Sunday terror attacks, which claimed 278 lives and left more than 500 permanently injured, has now reached a critical juncture.
Amid this decisive phase, contrasting political responses have emerged, with one faction identifying itself as the People's Joint Opposition and another aligned with Sri Lanka Hotujana Peramuna stepping up criticism of the ongoing investigative process.
Now, both groups have been actively organizing rallies, meetings and public discussions, raising concerns and questioning aspects of the inquiry.
Well, in contrast, the main opposition party in Parliament, the Samagi Jana Balavegya, has yet to issue a clear and comprehensive public statement on the matter through its leadership.
Leader of the opposition, Sajid Premadasa, has not so far made an open declaration. So what is happening in opposition politics?
Who is most suitable to lead opposition politics? Former President Ranil Wickremesinghe had been actively engaging in political discussions in recent times despite maintaining a low public profile. Pivituru Heluru Mayor leader Uday Gammanpila revealed today.
No, although he did not appear publicly in recent times, he remained active in politics. He met us regularly and held discussions over the phone. We see his increasing involvement as a strengthening of the opposition.
Meanwhile, a conference organized in Kandy yesterday under the banner of the People's Joint Opposition, led by Professor G.L. Piris, was attended by United National Party Chairman Vajirabe Vardhana and National Organizer Sagala Ratnayaka. However, Naveen Dissanayake, the party's Kandy district leader who had earlier expressed the view that Sri Lanka's political future should combine Ranil Wickremesinghe's mind and Sajid Premadasa's body, was notably absent from the event. Dayasiri Jayasekara, who entered Parliament after contesting from the Samagi Jana Balavegya, was seen prominently in the front row at the conference. Amid these developments, Samagi Jana Balavegya General Secretary Ranjit Madhuma Bandara stated yesterday that a joint political movement between Ranil and Sajid is likely to emerge in the near future.
The people of this country are calling for these two parties, which were once divided, to come together under Sajid Premadasa and Ranil Wickremesinghe and begin a new journey for the country. I state clearly and responsibly that within a very short time, Ranil and Sajid will come together and these two parties will unite to begin a victorious journey.
However, signs of resistance are now emerging from within the Samugi Jana Balawegaya itself regarding the proposed Ranil-Sajid alliance.
It is only some members within this party who say that we must unite like this in order to win. To win, we must deal with facts. Look elsewhere. Do you hear members of the SLPP saying they must unite with others like Dilit or Chamara to win in 2029? Dilit Javira contests from a separate party. Have you ever heard him say that they need to support one party to become president one day? No one says we must bring together this leader or that leader to secure victory. Why is that narrative only coming from within our party? First, we must put an end to that thinking. Remember, trying to form a government before 2029 is like jumping ahead and grabbing a piece of cake. It is not a successful strategy. Others in the opposition should understand this. We do not need to follow such moves. We know what should be done and what should not be done, and we are acting with that understanding.
Sri Lanka recorded a strong economic performance in the first quarter of 2026, with gross domestic product or GDP growing by 5.1%.
The growth was driven by contributions from all three major sectors of the economy, with industry emerging as the strongest performer. Industrial activities expanded by 7.2%, supported by robust gains in construction and mining, as well as steady improvements in manufacturing. Construction activity in particular saw significant contributions. The services sector, which remains the largest contributor to Sri Lanka's economy, recorded a 3.4% expansion with notable growth in financial services, insurance, information technology and tourism-related activities. Increased economic activity and improved domestic demand played a key role in supporting the sector's performance. Agriculture, although showing more modest gains, also returned to positive territory with a 1.1% expansion, reversing a contraction recorded during the same period last year. Growth in certain crop segments helped offset declines in fisheries and some plantation crops. The first quarter performance came amid ongoing recovery from external shocks, including the impact of Cyclone Ditwa and emerging global pressures toward the end of the period, particularly geopolitical tensions in the Gulf region. Despite these factors, the economy managed to sustain growth, supported by increased imports of capital and intermediate goods, which facilitated production and boosted government revenue. Weather first.
The active southwest monsoonal condition continues to prevail in the country.
Well, due to this condition, strong winds can be expected at times across several parts of the country. Theruni Karnaratna is now ready to bring us the latest weather update. Theruni?
Thank you very much, Harshini and Stevin. Well, according to the latest forecast published by the Department of Meteorology, several spells of showers will occur in the western and Sabaragamuwa provinces as well as in the northwestern province and also in the Galle, Mathura, Kandy and Nuwara Eliya districts. Showers or thunder showers may occur at a few places in the Uva and eastern provinces and also right here in the Mullaitivu district. Fairly strong winds of about 30 to 40 kilometers per hour can be expected at times over the western slopes of the central hills, the southern and north central provinces and also in the Trincomalee district. Meanwhile, the sea areas of the coast extending from Galle to Pothubil via Hambantota, that is this coastline, may be rough at times with strong gusty winds up to 50 to 60 kilometers per hour. The naval and fishing communities are requested to be vigilant in this regard. Back over to you, Stevin, for more local news.
Yes, thank you, Theruni. Now, in line with the National Dengue Control Program, an island-wide dengue prevention week commenced today. The program has been launched by the Ministry of Public Administration, provincial councils and local government in response to a sharp increase in reported dengue cases. The initiative will be carried out across public places, educational institutions, homes and surrounding environments. and will continue until the 20th of this month.
Under the Dengue Prevention Week that commenced today, mosquito control activities in public spaces will continue until the 17th. On the 18th, the program will focus on the education sector, covering all government and private institutions. Schools, preschools and private educational institutions will undergo cleaning and inspection campaigns as part of the initiative. The dengue control drive will then shift to government and private institutions on the 19th, targeting workplace environments across the country. On the 20th, authorities will focus on residential areas with inspections and cleaning of homes and surrounding premises scheduled to take place.
මේ ඇතිවීමින් තිබෙන තත්ත්වය ගත්තොත් අවදාන සාගත තත්ත්වයක් තිබෙනවා. මොකද විශේෂයෙන් ගත්තොත් ගිය වසරේ ජූනි මාසයේ වාර්තා වුණා ඩෙන්ගු රෝගීන් ප්‍රමාණය 5000 ගණක්. හැබැයි මේ වසරේ ජූනි මාසේ ගත වෙච්ච දින 13 ඇතුළත විතරක් ඩෙන්ගු රෝගීන් 7000 ගණක් වාර්තා වෙනවා.
මේ සතිය කියලා ප්‍රකාශයට පත් කළාට ඇත්තටම මේක සතියක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. මේක දෛනික දිනචර්යාවේ කොටසක් හැටියට පත් කර ගැනීමේ අවශ්‍යතාවක් තියෙනවා. එහෙම කළොත් අපිට මේ මරණ වගේම රෝගීන් වාර්තා වීමත් වළක්වා ගන්න පුළුවන්කම තියෙනවා.
So far this year, a total of 41,144 dengue cases have been reported across the country, with 24 deaths recorded during the same period. Out of the 24 fatalities, 4 have been children. Dengue has been reported in 74 medical office of health divisions across 12 districts, indicating a widespread national concern. The highest number of cases continue to be reported from the western province, while districts such as Gaul, Matara, Ratnapura and Kandy have also recorded a significant increase in infections, according to the National Dengue Control Unit.
Anyone who suspects they have dengue must seek medical advice immediately. What we see from the fatalities is that many patients are admitted to hospital at a very late stage. Once they consult doctors, decisions are made based on their condition. In fact, dengue is a disease that can be managed and controlled relatively easily. It does not require complex medication. By maintaining proper hydration levels, doctors are able to help patients recover. Therefore, seeking timely medical advice and maintaining a clean environment free of mosquito breeding is essential.
The United Kingdom will ban social media from offering its services to under-16s.
Well, the United Kingdom plans to model its approach on Australia's landmark legislation. Now, to tell us more, we once again cross over to Theruni Karnaratna. Theruni?
Thank you very much once again. Well, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer has announced a sweeping ban on social media use for children under the age of 16, citing growing concerns over mental health, safety and the addictive nature of online platforms. Speaking at Downing Street, Starmer acknowledged the significance of this decision, stating that it had not been made lightly. He recognized that social media has brought benefits for young people, however emphasized that governing requires making difficult choices where the protection of children must come first at all times. Let's take a look.
Every parent wants the best for their kids, and that's what being a parent means. And for me, for my 2 kids, all I've ever wanted, hand on heart, is for them to be safe and for them to be happy, and the rest is up to them. But you know, I think back to when I was growing up, and I have to say, I think we had it easier. These days, kids have to find their feet in a world that changes so quickly, where technology intrudes into every area of their lives. And we know that harms them. The response from parents in the consultation has been absolutely clear. Thousands of parents say their children are addicted to social media. It can leave them trapped in a cycle of endless scrolling that displaces play, sleep, and time with the family. It can harm their mental health. And frankly, parents need our support on this. That is why today, the government has decided to ban social media access for children under 16. It's a big step for our country. Now, it's not an easy thing to do. I'll be honest about that. We haven't rushed into it. We've looked carefully at the evidence. And we'll have to adapt our approach as technology changes. Learn from other countries which are taking similar steps. And it's fair to say that this decision has been resisted and it will face resistance from some of the most powerful companies in the world. But we will take them on and we will win, because the need for action could not be any clearer. Social media is making our children unhappy and unsafe. And as a parent, as much as a Prime Minister, I just can't let that go on anymore, because our children deserve better. They deserve a happy, safe childhood in a stronger, fairer Britain.
Well, in sports tonight, a high-octane clash packed with early breakthroughs, fighting partnerships and explosive finishes unfolded as Sri Lanka and West Indies battled it out in a gripping T20 encounter.
Well, to bring you more details, we now cross over to Jamal Ratnayaka. Jamal?
Thanks, guys, and a very good evening to everyone joining Primetime News tonight. As they mentioned, in a high-intensity finish to an electrifying T20 contest, the West Indies powered their way to a 2-1 series victory over Sri Lanka. They sealed the series with a commanding 5-wicket win in the final match played in Kingston earlier today.
Batting first in the match, Sri Lanka suffered an early setback as captain Kusal Mendis was dismissed for just 5 runs, falling as the first wicket. Pathum Nissanka contributed 26 runs, while Kamil Mishara was dismissed for 28. Crucial 49 partnership for the 7th wicket between Dunith Wellalage and Wanidhu Hasaranga helped rebuild the Sri Lankan innings. Wanidhu Hasaranga scored 21 runs. Top scorer Dunith Wellalage struck 43 runs, including 1 6 and 6 boundaries. Shamar Joseph delivered an outstanding spell, claiming 5 wickets for 33 runs. Sri Lanka, batting first, were bowled out for 169 runs in their allotted 20 overs. In response, Dunith Wellalage struck early, removing the first West Indian wicket on the 3rd ball of the opening over. Shimron Hetmyer and Brandon King then built a 51-run partnership for the 2nd wicket. Hetmyer scored 32 runs, while Shafane Rutherford remained unbeaten on 54. Chasing a target of 170, the West Indies secured victory in 19.4 overs, losing just 5 wickets. Shamar Joseph was named both Player of the Match and Player of the Series. However, Sri Lanka emerged as the winners of the ODI series between the two sides.
We now switch to the world of football, where a night of high-intensity football and dramatic moments unfolded at the 2026 FIFA World Cup as powerhouse teams delivered commanding performances while others battled to hard-fought draws in front of packed stadiums across North America. From dominant victories to closely contested encounters, the global spectacle once again showcased the rhythm, passion and unpredictability that define football's biggest stage, captivating fans around the world. In an eagerly awaited showdown at UFC Freedom 250, topping a stacked card on the South Lawn of the White House in Washington, D.C. A brutal contest was called off at the end of the 4th round by Topuria's corner.
27 wins, 5 losses.
American Justin Gaethje has turned the tables on Ilia Topuria to claim a shock win and take the lightweight UFC crown at the UFC Freedom 250 event on the lawn of the White House. After Topuria edged a thrilling first 2 rounds, Gaethje stunned the Spaniard with a crunching right hand before following it up with a brutal flurry of jabs that left the opponent's face swollen. Topuria appeared to have trouble seeing and was checked by a doctor before continuing through the 4th round, but his corner threw in the towel before the final round in Washington, D.C.
He's almost out. Oh, okay. And that'll do it. That's it. Oh, it's a career capstone at the walls. You could not end.
The bout headlined the first professional sporting event to be hosted at the White House. It is a key part of United States President Donald Trump's celebrations of the nation's 250th anniversary and was held on his 80th birthday.
It was Javier Clements who stopped the fight.
And with that, we wrap up Primetime News for tonight.
Thank you for watching.
Good
Good
night.
night.